Good morning grade 12. Goeiemôre graad 12. Ons gee net almal so 2 minute om in te skakel. We just give everyone 2 minutes to just get into the webinar. Okay, one more minute. Nog net 1 minuut. Okay, so let's start. Good day everybody. Welcome. Just a few things before we get started. If you are struggling to hear me, make sure your audio is on and your speaker volume is turned up. You will automatically be muted when joining the session. Should you have any questions, ask your questions in the question box below or on the right, or raise your hand. We're not going to do the raise hand situation because we're doing the webinar in Afrikaans and English. So it's going to take up a lot of time. So please leave your questions there and we will answer it after the broadcast. To raise your hand, click the icon on your dashboard below or on your right. Download this presentation and additional resources in the handout box below or on your right. You will also find all this information in the question box below or on your right. Remember to send us your questions. Your questions is quite important. Attendees are encouraged to ask questions and leave comments. However, if you leave irrelevant or inappropriate comments, the result will be the attendee will be dismissed from the session. If we did not get to your question, please send us an email to academics@impact.co.za so that we can address your question. And then questions in the question box will be answered and made available afterwards. If you did not receive the questions and answers, please send an email to info@impact.co.za. And if you want to look at the presentation again, visit the Impact YouTube channel with the recording of the session will then be there. Okay, so let's start. Today we're going to do chapter 9, nutritional and food-related health conditions. I just want to give you a picture that there is 4 units in this chapter and we're only doing unit 1, prevention and management of nutritional and food-related health conditions. So ons gaan vandag hoofstuk 9 doen wat voedsel verwante siektes of gesondheidskondisies bespreek. Daar is 4 eenhede in hierdie hoofstuk, maar ons het vandag net tyd om een eenheid te doen en is die voorkoming en die bestuur van voedselverwante siektes en omstandighede daarom. Okay. So unit 1 consists out of the following health-related or food-related health conditions. Low and high blood glucose levels, diabetes, coronary heart disease, osteoporosis, anemia, and high blood pressure. In een gaan ons die voorkoming en die bestuur van voedselverwante siektes doen en ons gaan die volgende siektes bespreek: hoë en lae bloedglukose vlakke, diabetes, wat is daai woord nou weer? Koronêre hartsiektes, osteoporosis, anemia of anemie en dan hoë bloeddruk. Dit sal die 6 verskillende siektes wees wat ons dan vandag sal bespreek. Okay, so when you do this chapter or this unit, there's certain things that you need to keep in mind when you study. So to make it easier for you, I went and actually put in some things that you can keep in mind when you study. This will count 2 marks. This will count 3 to 4 marks, because we all know food and nutrition is your most important part of your exam. It counts the most and they ask the most questions about it. So it's so important that you know it off by heart. If there's a section that you need to know off by heart, it's food and nutrition. So just to give you an idea, for prevention and management of nutritional and food-related health conditions, normally they would ask you to describe the condition. That will be 2 to 3 marks. Then how is this condition caused? 3 to 4 marks. They really like to ask the causes of it. And how to prevent it is also very nice. Prevent and management goes almost hand in hand. And they will always ask that as well. And that will also count between 3 to 4 marks. So make sure you know these 4 points according to the disease. And that's a better way of understanding the disease thing, because if you know the description, you know the cause, you know the prevention, and you know the management, then you can actually know the whole disease of by heart. So wanneer jy eenheid 1 bestudeer, is daar 4 goed wat jy moet weet. Die omskrywing van die siekte, die oorsaak van die siekte, die voorkoming van die siekte en hoe beheer jy die siekte as jy dit het. Nou, voorkoming en bestuur gaan gewoonlik hand aan hand en dit sal so 3 tot 4 punte wees. Die oorsaak van die siekte is 3 tot 4 punte en dan die beskrywing is gewoonlik so 2 punte. Of hulle sal vir jou vra, identifiseer die siekte. Julle almal weet, voedsel en voedingsstowwe en nutriënte is jou belangrikste deel in jou eksamen en dit tel op die meeste punte. So jy moet seker maak hierdie voedsel deel, as daar een onderwerp is wat jy van begin tot einde moet ken, is dit die voedselonderwerp. So kom ons begin met eenheid 1. So let's start off with the first health-related condition, which is related to food. So to start off, this condition or this disease is related to whatever you take in. So there's 2 components to it, the food that you take in and then the disease that happens. So make sure that you know what type of food and then what type of the health-related condition this is. Okay, so it's important to know the 2 different ones. So let's just describe high or low blood glucose levels. So glucose is something that you get from carbs that goes into your bloodstream. Okay, so if the levels are low, then it means that there's a sudden removal of glucose from the blood, which will cause you then that your blood glucose levels drop. And that is also known as hyperglycemia. Okay, that's when you have too little glucose in your bloodstream. A normal glucose level is 10 millimole of in 1 liter of blood. Okay, a high level of glucose levels is when the sugar builds up in your blood. It's not converted into energy, and that condition is known as hypercalcemia. So you get low and high. Low is when there's not a lot of glucose in your blood. High is when there's too much glucose in your blood and it can't be converted into energy. The causes of a low glucose level is when you don't eat enough, when you exercise a lot or too hard, or there's a type of food that triggers insulin to be released at a high level, and that causes then your glucose blood level to drop. High, the causes of a high glucose level is food that you take in that has high glucose in, and then your insulin in your body is not enough to break it down. And then we all know this leads to diabetes. So how do I prevent low and high blood glucose levels? First of all, you need to make sure you have control over the amount of glucose you take in from food. And the best part is to eat slow, release GI, sorry, to eat slow, release or low GI carbs so that the glucose levels is slowly released into the bloodstream. Then there's not a lot at one time in the blood, and then your body can actually use the insulin to break it down. Okay. So hoog of lae bloedglukose vlakke kan verduidelik word in die volgende manier. So dit glikose wat in jou bloedstroom is. Daar kan te min wees en dan kan dit jou bloeddruk verlaag, of daar kan te veel in wees wat dan veroorsaak dat jou bloeddruk verhoog. As daar te laag is, meen dit jy het nie genoeg glikose in jou bloedstroom nie. As dit hoog is, beteken dit daar's te veel suiker en dit kan nie omgesit word in energie nie, so dan stoor dit jou bloedglukose vlakke op binne in jou bloed. Die redes vir 'n lae bloedglukose vlak is jy kan dalk nie die regte eetes eet nie, of jy eet geskiet. Jy oefen dalk te hard, of partykeer is daar 'n sekere voedsel wat die insulien trigger binne in jou liggaam, wat dan te veel insulien dan vrystel en dit veroorsaak dan lae glikose levels of vlakke. Hoë glikose vlakke is wanneer daar 'n hoë inhoud glikose is binne in die kos wat jy geëet het, en dan is daar nie genoeg insulien in jou bloed om dit af te breek nie, en dan bly dit in jou bloed. En dit veroorsaak dan hoë glikose vlakke. En dit gaan hand in hand in met diabetes, maar ons sal daarby uitkom. Hoe beheer jy hoë en lae bloedglukose levels of vlakke? Die hoeveelheid wat jy inneem, moet jy beheer oor hê. So jy moet kyk hoeveel wat se voedsel jy inneem wat jou glikose opstoot. En dit is partykeer slim om voedsel te eet wat 'n lae glikose vlak het, want dit stel die glikose stadiger vry, en dit beteken die insulien in jou bloed kan dit dan verwerk in energie, en jou liggaam kan dit gebruik op 'n baie stadiger manier. Okay, so this is a picture to just explain low and high sugar levels. So the white ones are the sugar, and then the red ones are our blood. So you will see low, there is only like 1 particle of sugar in your bloodstream, which is not healthy. Then normal is when it's actually balanced, and then high sugar levels is when there's too much for your blood to handle. Okay. But on the Facebook page of Impact, there is nice links to actually explain, it's in a video form to explain this specific disease. So go and have a look at it. I'll also place the link into the PowerPoint, so it's easier for you to link it to the disease or the condition. But it's very easy. It's the amount of sugar that's present inside of your bloodstream, and that may cause certain things to happen inside of your body. So om hoë of lae bloedglukose vlakke te verduidelik, het ek hier 3 prentjies. Die eerste ene het jy kan sien net een suikertjie in, die suikertjies is die wites. So dit beteken hy is laag in suiker in jou bloedstroom, waar die middelste ene kan jy sien is dit baie mooi gebalanseer, en waar die laaste ene het jy heeltemal te veel van daai wit goedjies. So dis 'n baie mooi verduideliking van hoe die bloedglukose vlakke moet lyk in jou liggaam. Ek het hier ook 'n link ingesit vir 'n video wat jy kan kyk om hierdie voedselverwante siekte of kondisie te verduidelik. Dis maar net basies in jou bloedstroom die hoeveelheid glikose wat daar betrokke is, en dan die effek wat dit het op jou liggaam. Okay, so the next disease that we're going to do is type 1 diabetes. So I know some people must study type 1 and 2, and some people only study type 2. So it's nice to know both, because sometimes they ask you about type 1, but then you're not supposed to know type 1, but you need to know the difference between the two. So type 1 is when your pancreas cells are damaged, or your body is unable to make insulin. Okay, so basically, type 1, no insulin in the body. Okay, and mostly people are born with type 1 diabetes. It's something that's genetic and that you get from a small age, or it develops as how you develop. And it's most likely the dangerous one because this one is where you actually need to get injections to manage it. And you need to go on a strict diet and eating patterns. And you need to make sure you eat foods that's high in fiber, which release glucose at a very smaller rate or a slower rate. Also, you need to make sure that you limit your saturated fats that you take in, and you need to do a carbohydrate count. So type 1 is a very controlled type of diabetes because you have no insulin. So you need to be in control of the amount of glucose that you give your body because your body cannot control that glucose. So that's a nice way of remembering type 1 is the one where you need to have control over it because your body doesn't have control over it. Okay. So type 1 diabetes is jou mees gevaarlike diabetes. Dis wanneer jou pankreas se selle beskadig is en jy kan nie insulien maak in jou liggaam nie. En dit beteken die insulien kan nie die glikose afbreek nie. So gewoonlik wat met tipe 1 gebeur is, jy word met dit gebore of dit ontwikkel oor 'n tyd, maar dit is geneties meeste van die tyd. En daarom sê ek dis die gevaarlike een, want jy moet beheer daaroor hê. Mense met tipe 1 diabetes moet gereelde inspuitings invat. Hulle moet op 'n baie streng dieet wees en 'n baie streng eetprogram en hulle moet kos inneem wat hoog in stysel is. In die eetstysel is, want dit stel glikose baie stadiger vry binne in die bloedstroom en jy moet seker maak jy vat nie in enige ek dink dit is versadigde vette en jy moet seker maak jy tel die koolhidrate wat jy inneem. So om die verskil tussen tipe 1 en tipe 2 te onthou tipe 1 jy moet beheer daaroor hê want jou liggaam het nie beheer oor dit nie want daar is nie insulien in jou liggaam nie. Okay. Type 2 diabetes is the one that your body has semi-control over. So it means sometimes you will visit a doctor and then it will tell you if you don't change your diet, you will go over to type 2 diabetes. This normally happens when you don't have a good diet or an eating program, or you lack in exercise, or you overweight, and then it causes type 2 diabetes. So you can prevent type 2 with a good balanced diet. But when you have type 2, it is something that can be managed in a proper way. So your body has semi-control over it, but you need to help it to have control over it. Okay. So description for type 2 diabetes, the body does not make enough insulin or unable to use the insulin that is made by the body, or it uses very little of it. Okay. The causes of it is most likely obesity or lack of physical activity, or as I explained, a very poor diet. How do you manage it or prevent it? You make sure you have an ideal body weight. You change your eating habits. You know that saying when they say you're taking too much sugar? Now that's where it comes from. Sometimes you can actually take medicine. They say a good way of controlling type 2 diabetes is to eat very small meals very regularly so that you don't give your body too much to handle at a time. Then also eat a lot of starchy foods, which is low in GI, which means the glucose levels are being released very slower. And then also protein intake and take the stress off the kidney, and then it can actually help with the function of the insulin. Okay. And then obviously do not eat fat a lot. So type 2 diabetes is one where it actually happens because of a diet or an unhealthy lifestyle, and you can still manage it and control it, and it's not that dangerous as type 1. Type 1, you can actually die from it if you don't get your injections. Where type 2, you can still manage it in a way. Okay. So type 2 diabetes is jou meer gemaklike diabetes, as 'n mens dit so kan stel. Dis nie een waar jy inspuitings nodig het deur die dag nie. Jou liggaam maak insulien, maar dit is dalk nie genoeg nie. Of dit is jou liggaam kan dit nie gebruik nie. So wat jy moet doen is jy moet die liggaam help om beheer te hê oor tipe 2 diabetes. Nou, hoe word tipe 2 veroorsaak? Is maar 'n baie swak lewenstyl of 'n slegte lewenstyl of 'n gestresde lewenstyl, 'n slegte dieet en dan ook om onaktief te wees. Jy sal baie kere hoor mense sê moenie te veel suiker eet en dan gaan jy tipe 2 kry. Min of meer dieselfde, maar daar's baie goed wat daarmee saamgaan. Dit is 'n gebalanseerde dieet wat jy moet handhaaf. Baie kere sal die dokter ook vir jou sê as jy nie na jou dieet kyk nie, kan jy tipe 2 ontwikkel. So dan daar is klaar die gevaartekens wat moet opkom wat jy moet weet. Jy moet tipe 2 voorkom. En as jy tipe 2 het, kan jy dit nog steeds beheer. So hoe beheer jy dit? Deur 'n aangename gewig om die normale gewig gewig hê vir jou liggaam. Engels is nou hier, mekaar met Afrikaans. En dan om 'n baie goeie eetpatroon te hê en 'n gesonde eetpatroon. Partykeer kan jy medikasie vat om tipe 2 te beheer. Hulle sê ook as jy kleiner eetes eet meer gereeld deur die dag, dan is dit baie beter vir 'n tipe 2 diabetes persoon, want dan gee nie jou liggaam baie op 'n slag om te produseer nie. So daar's nie te veel glikose in die bloed stroom nie, so jou liggaam kan actually dit verwerk. En dan eet kos wat laag in glikose is, of kos wat glikose baie stadig vrystel, want dan kan jou liggaam dit actually verwerk en van daar af vat. En dan eet vet in 'n baie moderate way, in 'n gebalanseerde manier, want dit dra ook by tot tipe 2 diabetes. Okay, so here's a nice picture to explain type 1 and type 2. You will see type 1, the green ones are the insulin. So there is not enough insulin in the blood, where with type 2 you have a lot of insulin. But both of them here at the top, those purple things are the glucose. You will see the glucose are not being broken down on both sides, and that then causes or leads to other factors. Okay, so it's important to know the difference. Type 1 is when you don't have enough insulin and you can't break down the glucose. Where type 2, you have insulin, but it cannot be used or it's not enough. Okay, so go and have a look at these two links. They explain type 1 and type 2 very nicely. It's also on the Facebook page of Impact. Okay, coronary heart disease. So I normally explain coronary heart disease more in a cholesterol way because cholesterol causes coronary heart disease. I think there's another word here somewhere. I think it's the next one. Articulosis is also somewhere at the back of my mind of cholesterol. So it's good to know cholesterol. Cholesterol causes coronary heart disease. So what is cholesterol? Okay, so here's your blood, and it's a nice open vein. I hope you can see it. And then here is the cholesterol. You have cholesterol inside your veins. They normally sit on the side, very nice. And then what happens? If you take in too much, it starts to block the vein. And that then causes coronary heart disease. So cholesterol is a soft, waxy substance produced in your liver, and all of us have cholesterol. It's good to have cholesterol, but there's two things that you need to know. You get good cholesterol and then bad cholesterol. So high density lipoprotein is good cholesterol. High lipoproteins, good cholesterol. Low density lipoproteins is bad cholesterol. So you need to make sure that you go and test yourself and see, do I have good cholesterol, which most healthy people will have in their body, or do you have the bad cholesterol that actually blocks your arteries, which makes sure then the blood cannot flow through, which causes any heart disease. Okay, so what causes cholesterol or coronary heart disease? So, saturated fats. Saturated fats are fats from meat, or trans fatty acids are fats from pies or cookies. Those are your bad fats. And they normally, if you take in too much of it, goes and sits where the other cholesterol are sitting. Okay. So what lowers the cholesterol level is actually plant fats like sunflower or olive oil. So those are the good fats to take in. Sometimes a lack of exercise or weight gain can also put pressure on these veins with the cholesterol on. And they say your gender, your age, and your genes can also play a role in having cholesterol. So how do you prevent it or manage it? You limit your animal fat intake. You eat very small portions of red meat or less red meat. Rather replace it with fish or chicken throughout the week. If you buy stuff like milk, make sure you buy low fat, or if you buy yogurt, you buy low fat, and make sure you're aware of hidden fats like in a cookie or a chocolate, and then actually replace your animal fat with veggie fats like fruits and veggies. Okay, so again, cholesterol causes coronary heart disease, and that's when it blocks the arteries. The blood through, cannot flow through, and then it causes any heart disease actually. Okay, so coronary hartsiekte word veroorsaak deur cholesterol. So cholesterol is 'n iets wat betrokke is binne in ons selle. Ons het klaar dit. Die lewer maak dit vir ons. Maar jy kry twee verskillendes. Jy kry goeie cholesterol en dan kry jy slegte cholesterol. So jy kry hoë densiteit lipoproteïene en lae densiteit lipoproteïene. Die hoë densiteit is die lipoproteïene is in hoë aanvraag, so jou cholesterol is in 'n goeie toestand. Waar lae densiteit lipoproteïene is wanneer die lipoproteïene minder is, so jou cholesterol word dan meer. Okay. Cholesterol word veroorsaak deur ek dink mense noem dit versadigde vette en dan transvetsure. Nou dis versadigde vette en transvetsure kry 'n mens in chocolates en koekies en koek en rooi vleis se vet, daai lekker biltong vet. Okay. Vette wat cholesterol vlakke verlaag is polyonversadigde vette en dit is vette wat jy kry in plante soos olyfolie of sonneblomolie. So dit is beter om plantvette in te neem as dierevette want dierevette kan die cholesterol vlakke verhoog en dit beteken meer en meer cholesterol gaan binne in die are gaan sit en dit blok dan die bloed om deur te vloei. En as daar nie bloed deurvloei nie, kan jy dan 'n hartsiekte ontwikkel. So, en dit sê ook as jy nie genoeg oefen nie en as jy te veel gewig het, dan sit jy ook stremming op hierdie aard en dan met die cholesterol binne, dan hoe moet die bloed na die hart toe vloei. En dit sê ook gene, jou geslag en jou ouderdom kan ook 'n rol speel in om cholesterol te hê. So hoe beheer of bestuur jy cholesterol? Jy maak seker jy vat in minder dierevet en meer plantevet. Vervang dalk jou vleis met vis of hoender in die week. Wanneer jy jogurt of melk koop, maak seker jy koop lae vet en maak seker jy is bewus van alle verskuilde vette in sweets en koekies en goed wat jy eintlik dink. Daar's nie so baie vet in nie, maar daar's verskillende vette ook in binne. So cholesterol is gekoppel aan die hoeveelheid vette wat jy inneem. Ons het klaar cholesterol binne ons. Ons moet net seker maak ons neem nie nog meer in sodat dit die aar kan verstop nie. Wat dan 'n hartsiekte veroorsaak. Okay, so here is a nice way of explaining. So bad cholesterol is the yellow ones and good cholesterol is the green ones. And this one nice red thing is your artery. So the moment your lipoproteins are low, then your cholesterol goes and sits in your veins, and you will see the blood flow here is then very narrow. Where if you have good cholesterol, the green ones, they actually move out of the body. Okay, so go and watch this video. It's a very good explanation of arteriolysis. Okay. So hierdie is net 'n baie mooi verduideliking van goeie cholesterol teenoor slegte cholesterol. Die geel is die goeie cholesterol en die geel is die slegte cholesterol. Dit gaan sit letterlik binne in jou are en soos jy kan sien, dan maak hy die aar baie nouer en dan kan die bloed nie vloei soos wat dit moet nie. Waar jou goeie cholesterol is die groene en hulle kan actually uitbeweeg uit die liggaam uit. So dis 'n baie goeie verduideliking. En ek dink hierdie video sal dit ook vir julle baie mooier kan verduidelik, so gaan kyk na die video. Okay, osteoporosis. So, osteoporosis, bones. It has to do with bones. Bones has to do with calcium. So there's 3 things that you can remember. Osteoporosis, bones, calcium. So osteoporosis is when calcium is withdrawn from the bones at a faster rate than you're actually replacing it. So gradually this bone becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and very fragile, and that increases your risk of fractures. Okay, so someone who has osteoporosis has a high risk of getting fractures or bumps or getting bruised. Okay, so what causes osteoporosis? Sometimes the estrogen deficiency in women causes calcium to be drawn out of the bones, and that causes the bones then to become very fragile. A lack in calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin D also makes osteoporosis to happen. So if you don't take enough, vitamin D, then and phosphorus, then it cannot absorb calcium that you're also taking. Or I can't remember if it's the other way around. I can't remember now. Okay. Then any lifestyle factors like smoking or drinking or taking a lot of caffeine or protein. Protein is very sour, where calcium is used to neutralize the protein's pH level. So if you take a lot of protein meat in, then you draw out the calcium out of your bones. The same with smoking and the same with alcohol and the same with caffeine. Okay. Obviously, a regular exercise program, you will see exercise will help prevent all of these related health conditions, food-related health conditions. Okay. And then sometimes you can take in supplements or medication to help with the calcium levels. How do you consume enough calcium? By taking in a lot of dairy stuff and also taking phosphorus and vitamin D, there it goes, which helps with the absorption of calcium. So I was right. You need phosphorus and vitamin D to help you to absorb calcium, which you take in by the different foods that you eat. And as I explained, eat less protein-rich foods, which produces acids, and calcium neutralizes this acid. Okay. Caffeine, alcohol also increase bone loss. So osteoporosis, calcium goes together. Bones has to do with your bones. If you don't take in vitamin D and phosphorus, then your body cannot absorb the calcium from the food that you take in, which will cause your bones to become smaller and more fragile and very thin. Okay, so osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is jou bene saam met jou kalsium en as jy nie kalsium inneem nie, kan jou bene nie groei nie en begin hulle al hoe dunner raak en baie meer broos. En die oomblik wat iets broos en klein is die risiko om 'n fraktuur te kry of 'n stamp of 'n been te breek baie groter. So wat veroorsaak osteoporosis? Dis wanneer jy nie genoeg kalsium inneem nie. Maar jy het twee ander dinge nodig om jou te help met die absorpsie van kalsium. En dis fosfaat en Vitamiene D. As jy nie genoeg van daai twee inneem nie, dan kan jou liggaam nie kalsium absorbeer van die voedsel af nie en dit kan nie help om jou bene sterker te maak nie en dan lei dit tot osteoporosis. Okay. Jy sal sien ook leefstylfaktore soos rook en drink en baie kafeïne en om baie proteïene te eet veroorsaak ook osteoporose. Hoekom? Al hierdie goed het 'n tipe van 'n suur in. Kalsium word gebruik om dit te neutraliseer en seker te maak dat hierdie goed nie te suur is vir die liggaam nie. Wat dan gebeur is hierdie kalsium word dan uit die bene uitgetrek wat jou been dan fragile los, wat hom broos los. Okay. En soms kan jy sekere medikasie veroorsaak of dat kalsium uit jou been uitgetrek word, so maak seker jy weet wat se medikasie jy opneem. Hoe kan jy dit voorkom en bestuur? Eet voedsel wat genoeg kalsium in het, soos melk, en maak seker jy kry in Vitamiene D en fosfaat sodat jy kalsium kan absorbeer. En eet voedsel wat hoë proteïene, aminosure in het. Eet dit in matigheid of bietjie minder daarvan en dan vermy kafeïne, alkohol en rook, want dit trek ook die kalsium uit die been uit. Okay, so here's a nice picture of explaining osteoporosis. So a normal bone, you will see, has smaller holes in it, okay, because there's enough calcium present to maintain everything that's here. The moment calcium is not present, then the holes get bigger. So your bone is more fragile and the spaces between the holes are less, so you can get a fracture very easy. So go and have a look at this link. Also a nice video explaining osteoporosis. So hier's 'n baie mooi prentjie om net osteoporosis te verduidelik. Julle sal sien in hierdie eerste prentjie waar dit normale beendigtheid is, kan jy sien die gaatjies is baie kleiner en die beendigtheid is baie mooi tussen die gaatjies. Die oomblik wat jy osteoporosis het, raak die gaatjies groter, jou beendigtheid minder en dit maak of veroorsaak dat die been broos is teenoor enigiets wat teen hom stamp en hy kan makliker breek. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Anemia. So anemia is connected to iron. Okay, anemia, iron, blood cells. Those three things are the ones that you have to remember. So anemia is the blood has lost some of its capacity to carry oxygen. So your blood cells don't have the capacity to carry the oxygen where it needs to go. And that's why then you feel tired and restless and it feels like you can't move because the oxygen is not carried around in the body. So what causes anemia is a deficiency in folacin, vitamin B12, and vitamin B6 or copper. Okay, but the most important one here is iron. So iron gives the red blood cells their color and also helps the red blood cells to carry the oxygen where it's supposed to be. And it also gives the cells the energy to maintain this function. So let's backtrack. If you don't take enough iron, your blood cells cannot carry oxygen, which causes anemia, which is then a health-related condition. Okay, So where do we get iron from? So iron we get from red meat and liver. Sometimes you can take in supplements if your iron levels is too low. You can also go and test your iron levels, which is a good thing to do. Then vitamin C helps with the absorption of iron. So if you take in a lot of vitamin C, then you can actually help your body to absorb iron. And coffee and tea and alcohol and smoking inhibits the body's absorption of iron. So please make sure that you avoid those things if you know your iron levels are low. So anemia is caused when there's not enough iron, which helps the red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. Okay. Anemia is wanneer jou bloed die kapasiteit verloor het om suurstof te vervoer in jou liggaam. En dit veroorsaak dat jy baie moeg voel en jy jou energievlakke is baie laag. Verskoon net. So, wanneer jy wanneer jy te min yster inneem, dan veroorsaak dit dat jou bloed nie die suurstof kan dra nie. En hierdie suurstof is baie belangrik vir jou liggaam om sekere funksies te doen. So, anemia, yster, bloed. As jy nie genoeg yster inneem nie, kan jou bloed nie die suurstof dra waartoe dit moet nie en dit veroorsaak anemia. So hoe maak jy seker jy vat in genoeg yster? Jy eet voedsel wat hoë in yster is, soos lewer en vleis. Maak seker jy vat in vitamine C, want vitamine C help met die absorpsie van yster. En koffie en rook en alkohol maak die absorpsie van yster baie stadiger of glad nie. En dis hoekom dit beter is om dit dan te vermy as jy weet jou ystervlakke is baie laag. Jy kan ook jou ystervlakke toets om te weet hoe jy moet vorentoe gaan en om anemie te voorkom. Okay. So anemie, bloedselle, yster. Yster help die bloedselle om suurstof te dra. As dit nie dit kan doen nie, veroorsaak dit anemie. Okay, so here is a normal amount of red blood cells in our body that helps with all the functions in our body, so carrying all the oxygen where it's supposed to be and doing all the functions it needs to do. And this is a red blood cell where somebody has anemia. You will see the red blood cells are less. So those functions and the carrying of oxygen is less, and that causes anemia. Go and have a look at this video as well. It's a nice explanation of anemia if you still don't understand what I've explained. So hierdie is 'n baie goeie verduidelik van anemie. Jy kan sien in hierdie eerste prentjie is daar 'n goeie hoeveelheid rooi bloedselle en hulle kan al die funksies vervul wat hulle moet om hierdie suurstof te dra waartoe dit moet gaan. Waar in die tweede prentjie is daar nie genoeg rooi bloedselle nie. So dit kan nie al die suurstof dra waartoe dit moet gaan nie en dit kan dan anemie veroorsaak. So maak seker jy weet die verskil en as jy nog steeds 'n bietjie sukkel, gaan kyk na hierdie video wat 'n baie goeie verduideliking is van hierdie siekte. Okay, I think this is the last one that we need to do or that we're going to, and that is high blood pressure. So everybody calls high blood pressure a silent killer because nobody knows until they test. And that means your blood flows in the vein, your blood flow in your vein are under a high pressure. And normally, a normal count of your heartbeat is 120/80. But if you have high blood pressure, then it's normally, say, 150/90. Okay. So here's your vein, and here is the blood. It's when the pressure in your veins are extremely high from the blood that flows through the vein, and that's high blood pressure. Okay, so what causes high blood pressure? Let's backtrack. Cholesterol. If cholesterol sits around the vein, then the flow of the blood is very small, and that put pressure on the vein. So that can cause high blood pressure. Let's say if you're overweight, you also put pressure on the vein. So the blood flow is also struggling to go through. Okay, so unhealthy diet, and then one that everybody needs to know is too much salt can also lead to high blood pressure. Then physical inactive, smoking, medication can cause high blood pressure, and a very stressful lifestyle. So how do you prevent or manage high blood pressure? You exercise a lot, you watch your weight, and you make sure you have a balanced diet and take in less fat and less salt, which is the most important one. So high blood pressure is when there's too much pressure on the veins, or the flow of the blood creates a lot of pressure on the veins. Okay. So hoë bloeddruk, sê almal, is die gevaarlike een waarvan 'n mens nie bewus is nie. Want mense gaan toets hulle self nie. Dis hoekom Discovery het soos Vitality toetse elke jaar, dan kan jy bewus wees van jou hoë bloeddruk of jou lae bloeddruk, wat 'n baie goeie ding is. Want soms weet 'n mens nie eers jy het hoë bloeddruk of lae bloeddruk nie. Okay, so hoë bloeddruk word veroorsaak deur hier jou aar. Hier is die bloed. As dit deur die aar vloei, dan veroorsaak daar druk op die aar, en dit is hoë bloeddruk. Dit het druk op die bloed vloei deur die aar. Okay. Hulle sê 'n normale bloeddruk is 120 beats kloppe oor 'n 80. Kyk, jy kry jou klop en jou rus en jou klop en jou rus. 120 oor jou klop en 80 oor jou rus. Dis hoe dit moet gemeet word. So as jy hoë bloeddruk gaan dit so 150 oor 90 wees, byvoorbeeld. Okay. So wat veroorsaak hierdie goed? So kom ons gaan terug na die vorige slides toe, so waar cholesterol verduidelik het. As die cholesterol om jou aar gaan sit, dan maak dit jou are bietjie kleiner. So die vloei van die bloed gaan baie druk dan op hierdie aar sit. Ewen as jy bietjie oorgewig is, dan sit dit druk op die vet gaan sit om die aar, dit sit druk oor die aar en dan die bloedvloei is onder druk. 'n Stresvolle lewenstyl om baie sout in te neem kan ook hoë bloeddruk veroorsaak, en dan rook en medikasies kan ook oorsake wees van hoë bloeddruk. Hoe onderhou jy dit of voorkom jy dit? Maak seker jy het 'n gebalanseerde dieet. Jy eet minder vet en minder sout en geen geprosesseerde voedsel nie. As ook maak seker jy oefen gereeld en jy beheer oor jou gewig. Gewoonlik is oorgewig een van die eerste faktore wat lei tot hoë bloeddruk. So here's a nice example of high blood pressure. This is a normal artery with normal blood flow, and this is when the artery narrows, and then the blood pressure to flow through here is much more difficult than to flow through here. Okay. You will see they say here the pressure extended by the blood. Your veins take the pressure as how your blood goes through. So it's important to know high blood pressure when that vein is under pressure to keep it there. Okay. So here's also a video, a link that I placed in that explains this process very nicely. Hierdie is net 'n goeie verduideliking van 'n aar. Hierdie aar is baie mooi oop, so daar's geen hoë bloeddruk binne in hierdie aar nie. Waar hierdie aar is 'n bietjie geblok, so jy kan sien die vloei deur is baie klein en dit veroorsaak dat daar baie druk is. Jou bloed normaalweg maak so. Die bloed gaan normaalweg so deur. Maar die oomblik wat daar nie spasie is nie, dan druk hy daai aar baie groter oop, wat dan veroorsaak hoë bloeddruk. Okay. Let me just find my arrow to go to the next slide. Okay, can you believe we are done? This was a very quick course throughout the different types of health-related diseases. So it's so important to actually go and sit with each and every one of them and make sure you watch the video, make sure you read through the content, and you do understand what's going on. And if you still have a question about it, then send your question to Impact so that we can help you with the stuff that you struggle. Even if it's a term or a process that you don't understand. So dit is so belangrik, hierdie eenheid of hierdie werk is so baie dat jy elke liewe siekte gaan kyk die video en gaan lees dit op in jou handboek sodat jy hierdie siekte baie goed kan verstaan of hierdie kondisie goed kan verstaan sodat jy weet waar kom dit vandaan en wat veroorsaak dit en wat se voedsels is gelink met dit. En as jy vrae het of jy verstaan nie iets nie, dan stuur dit na Impact toe. Dan kan ons jou help om daai vraag te beantwoord en ons kan help sodat jy die konsep kan verstaan. I just want to mention, it's a very good idea to make a poster or a mind map around these things so that you have a visual of it. The moment you can see a visual, put it behind your toilet door and look at it every day before the exam so that you can have a bigger picture of it. It makes the understanding of the disease so much better. As jy sukkel om hierdie goed te verstaan, maak seker jy kry 'n geheel prentjie daarvan. Maak 'n plakkaat wat jy op kan sit in jou kamer of agter die toilet deur, wat jy die hele prentjie kan sien en die verskillende siektes en hoe hulle met mekaar link en waar kom hulle vandaan en hoe werk hulle, want dan maak dit beter as 'n mens 'n geheel prentjie. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Enjoy your weekend and please remember to send us your questions. Ek hoop julle die sessie geniet. Geniet julle naweek en asseblief stuur al julle vrae wat julle het.